Did you guys miss me? Because I did miss you. I hope all the streaming stuff is working good on today because sometimes it be tripping. You know how it be. But it's been about what? About 3 weeks? It's been 3 weeks. It's been 3 weeks since I've been MIA, and I am back. I'm back. I was out for a birthday. I was out for Easter. I was out because I was tired. I was offline, just off. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to do it all in one big wham, and it wears you out. So I had to take a breather there. But I am glad to be back tonight. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you to all of you that inboxed me, that messaged me, and was like, "Girl, where you at?" Where you at? So I felt the love. I appreciate the love. It makes me feel really good because sometimes, you know what I'm saying, you be out here, you be feeling like, what? You on your own, but I'm not. I know it's benefiting and helping someone. So I'm glad that you can come on and join me. I'm gonna give a few minutes for everyone to hop on so I can dive into what your girl been up to. Just want to dive into what I've been up to, have a few little conversations tonight, and we're gonna keep it rolling. One thing that I did do is that I did go and see the movie Sinners. I'm gonna wait because somebody was messaging me something. I can't send you no message back. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You have to catch the replay. I'm sorry. I have to keep going. Okay, so I did go and see the movie Sinners. The movie Sinners was outstanding. I'm gonna give a few more minutes because I don't want nobody to miss this. I don't want nobody to miss this. So please jump on, hop on. I can't even see the chat right now. I can't even see the chat on YouTube right now. So if you chat me on YouTube, I'm sorry, boo. I'm sorry, friends. I can't see it right now. We got to go. We got to keep going. We got to keep going. Okay. All right. All right. All right. Here we go. Okay. So I went and saw the movie Sinners. One of my girlfriends that told me about it, and she was like, "Oh, girl, it was so good." Blah 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 blah. I said, "Okay, I'm going to go see it." I went. I saw the movie Sinners. Ryan Coogler. Oh my God. Is it Cougar or Cooler? Whatever it is, he got it going on. Okay. Okay. The movie. Okay. Everybody keeps saying it's about vampires, but it is more than just about vampires. And I kind of think that's a spoiler. So if you haven't watched it and you want to go and see it, you might want to just like and then come back later and then make some comments. I don't know, but I'm finna let it rip. Okay, so I felt like the movie Sinners was outstanding. That's probably like the best movie I've seen since maybe Black Panther. And I'm not being biased. I'm not being biased, but it was really, really good. So I feel like the characters in there were like coming face to face with their own sins and more dilemmas. And the movie just kind of like deep dove into like guilt, redemption, and evil, right? And so the plot was very thick. The characters were very multidimensional. It showed like different struggles from their past choices and the consequences that followed them into their present day. It had a lot of backstory behind it. It was a lot of unpacking. It's like one of those things like when you go to the African American Museum in DC. It's kind of like that. You have to go like maybe like one, two, three, four times to probably really get all of it. That's how the movie was. It was that complex in a good way, because you want to go back and you want to try to see what did I miss, what, you know what I'm saying, what did this mean, what did the songs mean, what did the imagery in here mean, what the pictures, the light, the day, the water, what does all it do? And I love stuff like that. I love stuff like that. So it was like, talking about redemption basically. And it also had some themes of forgiveness, the impact of sin on personal relationships, and searching for meaning in a what flawed world, because we all live in this flawed world. It was very good. Very, very good. That's about as much as I can say without telling the movie. I think I gave a good rendition right there without telling it all. But it was great. I love the music. I love the art. I love the stories. I love the hidden messages. It was just outstanding. It was, yeah, go see it. Go see it. Run it up at the box office. Run it up. Run it up. It's so worth it. And like I said, it's one of those you got to kind of peel back those layers. And maybe I'll talk about it a little bit more on my podcast after I give everybody a little time to go and see it. Maybe I'll go and try to deep dive and dissect it a little bit more on my podcast. So if you don't know my podcast, it is Conversations with the Modern Girl. You can get that on Apple, all other platforms where you can stream it. You can see it there. Now, let's change gears. Let's talk about accountability. Let's talk about accountability in reference to scandals. Okay, so there's been some scandals here. We haven't had a real big rocky one since the Diddy one. So we got a new one with Shannon Sharp. And so it made me feel sad because I love a black man. If you listen to my podcast about loving a black man, I talk about loving a black man because I love a black man. I do. No disrespect to the other races, but I love a black man, and so I hate to see when the demise, what I'm saying, or some type of scandal comes out on a black man, especially someone that's a public figure, that has worked very hard to get to where they are. But as a public figure, you too are not eliminated from having actions behind your consequences for your actions. And as public figures, you must be mindful of your behavior and the impact that it has not only on their career, but also on the communities and the perceptions that we have of them, right? So, empathizing this accountability should, I hope, encourage others to act more responsible, to, what I'm saying, be more not only responsible, but make ethically, what I'm saying, in their personal and their professional lives. Because when you're in the eye of the public, you're going to be faced with a lot of choices, a lot of things, especially when you're rich, you're famous, I mean, it's handpicked. You can do kind of pretty much what you want to do. So it appears. But you must have intelligence in the place of having that ethics there to know what's a good thing and what's not a good thing, what would be morally correct. You can't just do what the average person may do and get away with it, because yours will be magnified. It will be the mistakes are going to be magnified in the public, and it's hard to shape that. It's hard to shape that, and black men can learn from this the importance of maintaining composure under pressure and developing strategies to handle criticism, I feel like, while staying true to their values and their commitments. But you know what? You got to have values and commitments first. You got to have values and standards before you can be held to them, right? So if you didn't have those values and standards, hey, what you was doing just kind of fell out there. Just kind of is out there. I mean, it's nothing you can do. So we've got to understand, not just as black men, but as black people, we got to understand and promote positive representation in anything that we do. Anyone can get caught up in a scandal. Anyone can get caught up in some foolishness. It's very easy to, but how you navigate it and how you hold yourself accountable and bounce back for it will help you get that redemption, right? So, when you got to be represented in the media and this popular culture, it can be very complex. But that's why we must make sure that we are promoting positive narratives and setting good examples of integrity and success, and uplifting each other, showcasing our achievements, and also helping to reshape the narrative around our communities, moving beyond the negative stereotypes that's out there, and just encouraging more positive and, unified images of us. And that's just not for the people that are famous. That is for all of us. We all should make sure we hold ourselves to a certain standards, don't you think? I mean, these are just my thoughts. These are just my conversations. That's all it is. Just some conversations that I'm having, my thoughts, just talking. I'm letting it roll because it has been 3 weeks since I've been on here to talk to you guys. So I'm trying to let it all out, right? Let's change gears again. Let's talk about this Shedeur Sanders situation. First of all, if you know me, you know I love prime time. I love Deion Sanders. Always have been a fan. Always will be a fan. Love them. Love the family unit. Love them. Love them. I do. I do. And, I was actually taking it kind of personal as we were waiting to see when, if and when he was going to be drafted, right? And we all had these high expectations. And I think, Chad, said something that was very important. Chad Ochocinco, I think that's they used to play with the Cincinnati Bengals. He said something very important when he said that you can't be bigger than the program. And I understand that. I understand that. And there may have been some things that may have been said that may have been taken out of context, or maybe people may have felt some type of way about way things may have been said by Deion Sanders in reference to his sons. But any parent knows you are going to want the best for your children. You're going to advocate for the best for your children, and to be in the situation in the house that you built, of course, you're going to, you know what I'm saying, demand some things, and I think the fear behind seeing the Sanders arrive, seeing them arrive as a family unit with a father, what I'm saying, a supportive father figure there in their lives that's directing them in great ways, good avenues in life, showing them the ropes and how to navigate right to avoid what we just talked about, these scandals, these misrepresentations, having this poor judgment, to avoid those things. You didn't hear anything about them. You don't hear anything really about prime time either. But understanding how to navigate that, and also most importantly keeping Christ first. And when the Sanders arrive, they are a unit themselves. They are a unit. It's like you want to get with them. It's not they trying to get with anybody. No, they want to get with them. You want the Sanders behind your stuff because it's the Sanders effect. Come on, we got to acknowledge that. We have to acknowledge that. And I feel like Shador's journey puts emphasis on the importance of patience. This whole draft process, how he navigated that draft process made me think about patience and perseverance. It made me think about, despite facing delays in life, um, or emphasizing the idea that success is not always immediate. Those are the things that we were seeing in that situation. Patience can serve as this reminder that great achievements over time, perseverance, and commitment to continuous improvement, it takes time, right? So in that process, that's what was being displayed. And when you think about your own accomplishments or goals that you want to achieve, we all see the end result when we see success, right? But we never talk about the obstacles or the defeat, the setback, or the trials that one has to navigate and go through in order to reach that level of success. And sometimes, even when we have everything lined up and it's all our ducks are in a row, so to speak, and we've checked all the boxes off. We've showed up, we put in the work, we've achieved, we've excelled, we've attained the degrees, we've attained the certificates, we've sat for the test, we've attained the licensures, we worked the shifts no one else wanted to work. We put the work in, we put up with the crap nobody else would have put up with. We put our time in. And a lot of times we wait to that pivotal moment to get to the peak of that success. And sometimes it is delayed. Sometimes it is like almost a slap in the face. And I felt like watching Shador in this moment reminded me of that, of being God's chosen and God's perfect timing. Because we have this expectancy sometimes that we feel like we ourselves have done so many things, even when we are faith based. We still feel as if we've accomplished so much and I put so much in and I'm deserving of this. And sometimes we can feel like I have arrived. And it's not that you forget about God, but it feels like, God, I did everything I was supposed to do. I did everything. I was faithful over a few things. So I need you to show up. And he does, but he does it in his timing. And a lot of things that happen to us is shaping us for something else. So going into the NFL, which will be a whole new world from college, a whole new world from high school, a whole new world that he and Travis and Shador, all of them will be involved in. All Shallow will all be involved in. It will be a new world for them. And so you're going to come up against different battles. You're going to come up against different situations where patience is going to be of a virtue, where patience in your morals, your standards, and your faith is going to have to be there to carry you through, even when you're done wrong. Even when you're done wrong, in the moment when you're in adversity, you're going to have to really lean into that. And I think, this pivotal moment of wanting and desiring and expecting to be selected I think that delay helped show that being chosen, I'm saying, for a purpose, being chosen because you are the one, you are God's choice, is something that will carry each of them throughout this process. And I hope that's something that you could take away from that. Did anyone take anything away from it? I kind of think a little bit deeper when I'm watching things or reading things, or I think a little bit deep, but that's something that I thought about when I was watching this whole draft process. And we as people, we view setbacks as disappointments, but some of us can also view those things as opportunities for growth and preparation, right? For greater rewards ahead. The perspective encourages us to trust the process, right? To trust the process and to understand that our divine purpose will not go underserved. It will not go unnoticed. And we have to motivate ourselves in that in challenging times. And I've said this before, and I say it again: faith over fear. Faith over fear. That delay in that draft pick can highlight the importance of having faith in yourself and your journey, knowing that you have put in the work, knowing that you have sacrificed, knowing that you have put everything, you put it all in on the line. And embracing that faith can foster this resilience and this confidence in knowing that I can overcome this obstacle. I can, remain focused on my goals, and what is for me is going to be for me, because it gets tough, in a situation like that. I know you start having that self doubt. I can only imagine what he was thinking in those moments, thinking, surely I will, obtain this, or surely this is going to happen for me. Surely I'll be the second round pick. Surely, they will jump, at the opportunity to work with me, but it doesn't always work like that. And that's a reminder. That's a reminder, not only for him, but it should be a reminder and a takeaway for you to remain focused on your goal, even when you're facing these obstacles. Remain focused. I think that Shador's experience encourages myself and others, I should, to trust that your hard work and your faith will ultimately lead to fulfillment, regardless of this immediate circumstance that may be a delay or a denial at the time. You just have to have that resilience and that willingness to keep pushing forward, to stand firm on your faith and believe that what is for me, and to understand and know that if God promised me this, it will to come to pass. And it's not always in our timing, it's always in God's timing, because we want it right then, right? We want it right then. We expect to get it right then. We feel like we checked all the boxes and it should come right now. And it doesn't always work like that. And I feel like sometimes it's a gentle reminder to let you know who's in control. And I said earlier, no one can be bigger than the program, is what Chad Ochocinco was saying. That's right, but no one is bigger than God. Nobody is bigger than God. So I always hold on to that, and understand that how patience and a sense of purpose and your unwavering faith can guide you through life's challenges, and especially competitive environments like sports, like the Shador was facing. I feel like that's something we should hold on to and understand. So I think those are some great points that I tried to run through really fast, because I don't like to waste your time. I did have a very good birthday. Thank you to everyone that wished me a happy birthday. I want to spend a special shout out to my friends that loved on me, made me feel very supported, to my family that came and visited. If you saw some of my pictures, you saw that my family came down. My mom, my sister, and my niece came down. My older sister would have come, but my niece is graduating. My oldest niece is graduating. I am very excited about that. And I get to travel back home for her graduation. So I'm very excited about that. So that's the only reason why my sister Keisha wasn't here, is because of that. But I know she'll come and see me this summer. But I felt so much love this birthday. And I don't know if it's a good therapy that I've been getting this year or not, but I really felt centered. I really felt supported more than I've ever felt, before. And I don't know if it was the turn of my age or what, but I really embraced the simplest things, the simplest forms for my birthday, and that love and that support that was coming from my family and my friends. And a lot of times people would take that for granted, and be like, oh yeah, they told me happy birthday, this, that, and the other. But no, it genuinely meant a lot. Each and every person that told me happy birthday, each and every person that showed me love, it really, really really touched me. It really sat with me this year, and I am forever thankful for it. Thankful for this life. I'm thankful for this journey. And people always say, well, what is it that you've learned in this year? What is it that you learned in these years of your birth? And something that I have learned is being sustainable. I'm sustainable. Not only that, is that I want to pour everything I got into myself into the world and leave my mark. That's something else that I want. And I think that I have touched many people's lives more so than I really thought. More so than I expected to. I have touched a lot of people's lives, and I am thankful for that in the unique ways that I have been able to do that. And I think I've talked about that before, about how I had the opportunity to live different places, and experience different people and build different relationships. And that is alone is a blessing. And, I think about that journey and how difficult it may have been at times, but it was a blessing, and it is still a blessing. So yeah, I had a great birthday. I enjoyed it. Like I said, my family came down. I felt the love. I thank all my friends. I thank my family, everybody. I thank my home girl. Thank you for my shoes, boo. You know who you are. Thank you. Thank you for my J's. But yeah, I had a great birthday. And so also just want to also talk about two events. One event, June 7th, my friend Terry, and I don't know if she was gonna hop on or not. She may. So if you all see her hop on in a minute, y'all know this Terry. She is having an event. It's a second event, and it's a tea party. And this tea party, the theme this year is sunflowers and lace. Last year it was what was it? Purple. It was purple, and it was purpose and prayer, purpose and don't. I'm sorry, Terry. I don't remember right now. I was at her event. I was one of the speakers last year, but it was something purpose, but it was amazing. And so that was her first event, and I'm very proud of her. And now she's having the second event, and it's sunflowers and lace. And the tickets can be collected. You can order your tickets at beautybrat.com. That's her website. And the event is this year is for men and women. So last year it was just us girls there, but this year it's men and women, and it's at a private location. I don't even know. I don't She ain't told me. She ain't even told me. So it's a private location, and it should be a great event. Last year was outstanding. I know this year will be great too. So if you need something to do or you're interested in something to do, June the 7th, please go check out my girl. I'm going to a private event May the 9th. I was asked to speak at Grambling University. It is a young girl that is graduating in social work, and they reached out to me to come and speak at her private event for her graduation. And I'm going to that event on the 9th. So you guys that know me, pray for me, say a little prayer for me if I go and talk some little good stuff to them. But that is an event that I have going on at that time. It's actually a dinner. It's in the evening that I'll be attending and doing that. So those are the two things that I have right now that's going on. And like I said, just let me run back and recap for the ones that got on a little late. We talked about Ryan Coogler and his movie Sinners. You got to watch the playback. I didn't spill too much. I didn't spill too much at all. I think I just gave kind of like the baseline of that movie. But again, I say it again, outstanding movie. We talked about Shannon Sharp. We talked about that scandal. We talked about accountability. We talked about promoting positive representation of yourself. We talked about all of that, and we talked about patience. I talked about Shador Sanders and my love for the Sanders family, and we talked about how Primetime has really nurtured and reared his children to be exceptional, to be excellence, and how sometimes that can be something frightening to those. I don't know why, but it is. But anyway, we talked about that a little bit, and being God's chosen one. So you get a chance, go back and watch the playback, and you can see where I'm talking about that on there. Be sure to leave some comments. Leave some comments. Hit my inbox. If it's anything that you want me to participate in or do, just hit my inbox or email me. I think I got an email about this last one. Email me. I'll check it out, see what I can do, where I can work it into my schedule, and I'll try my best to do that. Again, I thank each of you. Oh, wait. Okay. If you have been following, even in my absence, I have been uploading stuff to my podcast, right? So this season 2 of Conversation with the Modern Girl, I did start doing the video footage with the podcast. So you can go back and watch the videos of my interviews, and you can also hear the audio from those videos on my podcast. So I had started out with, these guests, and we was doing really great. And then y'all, I got disencouraged because my last guest, it took me forever to edit that last conversation that I had because my mic and the system was like messing up like something crazy. We had to like stop and re-record like maybe twice. And I almost just told her, never mind. And not only that, I had some people that would sign up to meet with me. And I'm doing this after work. You know what I'm saying? So I'm getting off work, I'm getting everything set up, I'm getting gear, and then on to find out you don't show up. That was the other thing that I was battling. So y'all encourage me. Encourage me to keep going. I'm gonna do it anyway, but encourage me. So yeah, so I had a lot of audio issues, a lot of static in the mic and stuff. So that's why some of the, I think it's the last one I did, it's not in pristine like listening like I like it to be. But believe me, your girl worked on that forever. And I know Jamisha was probably like, when is she gonna upload the thing? I thought she said she was gonna, but I was really trying to make that audio sound as clear as possible. And so it's out there for you to listen. I do have a series that I have been working on. And I actually have to reach out to two people this week for my part two. And it is the Black Church. The first one is completed, the Black Church. Y'all that was on the Black Church, BB, Tamika, and I got it. I'm gonna put it up. I'm gonna upload it. But that too was one that was like tripping. I don't know what was going on, but it was tripping. But I did go and try to get the static out of that one as much as I could, but it's got to be heard. You know what I'm saying? So I will upload that one this week. So if you're like, subscribe, download the podcast, like, subscribe to YouTube, because whenever I push something out, that comes, you'll get it automatically and you'll be able to hear it. So please tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to check me out. I'm doing these interviews with people that ain't famous or nothing like that, but they are just as important. And it is great conversations that I feel like that need to be had and shared. And something, y'all, when I go back and I hear stuff on like these reality shows or on TV or on the news, I laugh to myself a little bit because I think about, man, I did that like back in like 2014 or 2015, like with Martin Girl, these conversations that I had that often people don't often talk about, like partner violence, and domestic violence, partner violence, HIV/AIDS, the PrEP, understanding and knowing about PrEP. And people, I saw Tamar had posted something a while back about she was taking her PrEP, and I chuckled to myself because I was like, man, that was like what, 2018, maybe even before. It might have been 2017 when I brought in the HIV person from that didn't sound right, did it? The representative from the Department of Health and Human Services, who graciously gave us a grant. Y'all remember that now? They gave us a grant, and they came down and they spoke about PrEP and HIV, and the advancement that they had done in the research of HIV/AIDS, and being able to provide that medication PrEP to not just those that had HIV/AIDS, but those that don't have it, to prevent them from getting HIV/AIDS. So when I saw that, when Tamar Braxton was talking about that, I chuckled to myself and was like, man, I was ahead of my time. I really was, wasn't I? So that's encouraging too. That's encouraging too. So I do try to have these conversations that are often not talked about. If you heard the conversation with Miss Dr. Brown, that Dr. Brown, thank you. It was '07. It was 2017. Yeah. Dr. Brown and I had a conversation about our chemical makeup. If you go back and listen to the podcast on my YouTube page, we talk about our chemical makeup, and she specializes in getting people pregnant, because a lot of minorities, let me specify that, minority women pregnant. Now, she does not discriminate, but that is her main focus, is getting minority women pregnant, because there are a lot of things that take place in the OBGY world and pharmacy world that people don't often talk about when it comes to our chemical makeup and how our bodies absorb, how our bodies, carry infant and carry them out. So go check out that podcast. Very interesting. She's out of Dallas, Texas. Also, the one with Jamisha, when she talks about, she's a nurse, and she talks about IV treatments, and these are like vitamins that you can get through IVs. And so she does it. She has a spa set up where she does these treatments, and I did not know. And I think you guys, if you follow me, you might have saw the clip when she talks about your gut health, about how we take these vitamins over the counter, we're not really getting the full amount of nutrients from those vitamins because of our gut. A healthy gut, I think she said, only absorbed like a small amount of those nutrients. So that's why it's so important to have these IV therapy treatments. So that was a great educational piece too. And then all of a sudden, I started seeing stuff about these IV treatments. So it's good to know that there's some minority chicks out here that's doing some things, moving and shaking, and they're specializing in doing things for us, by us. So I try to make sure I put forth the effort to bring that forward. So I do have some more interviews lined up, but the next one that I am focusing on is the Black Church. I will upload that one this week, so you guys will check it out. I have two people that are interested in speaking about this Black Church for my second round. And if you want to join in, you definitely can. Let me know, because if we got to go round three, we will, because it is a lot to unpack. But again, tell a friend to tell a friend to check me out on YouTube as well as on podcasts. Like, subscribe. Y'all subscribe to my little podcast. I looked at it the other day. Ain't nobody subscribed to my podcast. Now, come on now. Get a subscription. Help your girl out. So make sure you go on there, check it out. Tell your friends too. And like always, I look forward to talking with you again on next week. We'll talk next week. We'll catch up. Drop me some comments. Let me know what you think about the podcast that are up. And also let me know what you think about this live on tonight. Like I said, if you didn't catch it earlier, go back, watch the replay. I think it was a lot of little gems we dropped right there that you'll find very interesting. Let me know what you think. If you go and see the movie centers, let me know what you think. Or maybe we could talk about, like I said, I might put it on podcast. Who knows? I don't know. But thank you so much for your time tonight. As always, I appreciate each of you. Tell a friend, tell a friend. Check me out, Sunday Night Conversations. Go find my stuff out there. Conversation with the Martin Girl on YouTube as well as on podcast. All right, take care. I'm out.